Hello, everyone. I'm Mason Beam with the Wise News Network, and lately we've been featuring some of the younger citizens of Cherryville's efforts. We're going to continue that trend today by highlighting the art exhibit at the Loray Mills. This particular exhibit hosts art from all of Gaston County Schools, but we've got some of Cherryville's teachers and students to say a little bit more. First up, we've asked Lacey Dellinger and Anna Howard to tell us how many students they've entered and to speak a little bit on how the selection process for this exhibit works. Let's go to that now.
I would say approximately about 14 to 16. I have, we could put into up to 21 pieces. Some of my students have more than one piece in the show, but mostly about 14 to 16 pieces. It's mostly 9th through 12th grade. I have a large group of 9th graders usually in the first semester, so there was quite a few 9th and 10th graders in there. And then my 11th and 12th graders are usually the second semester, so not quite as much representation from them just because of the timing of the show, but really a broad age group from 9th to 12th grade. So with the show, we have different criteria, but different categories that we have. So they have like photography, black and white drawing, color drawing. And so I try to choose a range of things so that we're represented across the categories, because that's how they choose the winners. They have a first through third place winner in each category. And just to get as much, opportunity to place, I try to pick a range of things. So I try to just pick those that really exceeded expectations with each of the projects throughout the semester based on their the medium, basically. Like, they are very excited when they're like, I had a student who won, he was really surprised when he won first place in photography, and he was like, I'll get that ribbon when we're done. I'm like, yes, you'll absolutely get the ribbon, you'll get your certificate, you'll get your artwork back. I said, but then what's really cool with that show is first place winners will travel to the CCP college, and they'll be in their gallery there, so they'll get even more exposure and have their work seen by even more people. Yeah, it was kind of a broad range. I tried to show a little bit from doing, we did a recycled art project where they used some recycled fabric, and a student made a whale shark that won first place in fibers. It was so cool. Like, she did a great job. That was one of my favorite pieces, just because, seeing that student really, she worked really hard. Her name's Riley. And she made her pattern and everything, like, from scratch, and just did it. And we kind of worked together with that. And she just had a lot of tenacity to finish it, because it was a bear in some ways to figure that all out. But I try to just pick a little bit of everything so that they can see all that our program does. I know we had 3 first place winners. We had a second place winner, an honorable mention, maybe a second honorable mention. So I think we had 5 or 6 total is what we had. I think the biggest thing is that it makes them really feel like true professional artists, because having your work displayed like at a place like Loray Mills, and then getting people to come see it and talk to you about it, I think it just gives them a lot of confidence, and it makes them feel more like they are real artists out there in the world and not just students doing it in class. And so I think it gives them a lot of, just credibility in the art world.
I maxed out this year, so I believe it's 18, so I did 18, because as many as I can. I kind of did that mindfully, just because it was mostly 7th grade, but 8th grade and 6th grade were submitted, but I tried to do as many as I can and as even as I can, because it also gives them the opportunity to get a little spotlight on them and just kind of be mindful of selecting male and female and all demographics and stuff like that. So through the Artist's Eyes has a media list that you can choose from, such as black and white, color, sculpture, craft, anything like that, ceramic. And so I submitted as many as I could that fit that criteria. Well, like I said, when I was selecting people, I really wanted to keep a mindfulness of the kids that aren't celebrated as much and not have grades as a factor. I think that's the cool thing about art, is it is so subjective. That grades are kind of not necessarily the main focus of what did I get on this. It's like, how good and how much effort did I put into this. So several of the students, while other students may have done better, some of these students may have tried the hardest that they possibly could for the first time, then they really, really put themselves into it. And I took that into account when selecting and wanted to celebrate that accomplishment and hoping that it would grow into more eventually.
Next up, we asked Clara, Riley, and Alice how they came up with their projects and how they felt about winning. These students entered a Skittles model, Cheez-It Snapped model, and Lion's Eye respectively, with each winning awards in their categories. Let's hear from them in the classroom.
I don't know, I just really like Skittles, and I picked it out last second. I kind of felt happy, I guess, because I won a gift card. But
I felt good because I won a gift card, but I didn't think I was going to win, to be honest. So I didn't plan on doing the Snapple Cheez-It bag. It was the only thing that was in my lunchbox because I didn't have a bag, so I just took whatever was in my lunchbox and used it.
I didn't see very many people doing the lion eye, so I'm like, I'm going to be different. I was genuinely surprised because I was sitting in the car rider line and Miss Howard was like, hey, your kid just won an award. I'll give you the information later.
Now back to Miss Dellinger, who will tell us a little bit more on what exhibits can mean for the students and how it brings forth community support.
I think it's just a great way for all the schools to combine and for people to see what we're doing, because a lot of times band and chorus, they're doing a performance. People get to see that in a place they're actually experiencing it, and you don't get to come into the art room typically at a school. So this is just a good way, I think, that people get to see what is happening in our schools and see the great talent and the creativity and the hard work that our students are doing behind closed doors. My biggest thing is just keep practicing. Just keep doing whatever you're passionate about. If it's drawing, if it's painting, whatever, even if it's not a specific medium, whatever you like to draw, whatever you like to do with art, just keep doing it. The more practice you get, the better you're going to be. It's just like with the sport or anything. I tell my students, the only reason that I can draw the way that I can draw is after years and years of practice. And I said, and even if you aren't really into realistic, it still helps you to practice your skills no matter what you want to do, if it's abstract to sculpture or whatever. It's just to practice. I think it would be a great opportunity to see how much talent is here. They may even see a piece that they want to hang up in their house. I've had students who've sold art before, and that's a great experience for them to get to sell a piece of art. So they may see something they want to hang on their own wall, or just to know what we're doing here. They may want to, if they have artists out in the community, they might want to volunteer and come in and share their expertise. I always love people who have expertise. I had a person come in before who was a seamstress, and she did a lot of quilting, and she talked to my students about quilting and that kind of thing. So we'd love to have visitors come in and share their own artistic endeavors. So we actually have a fashion design project that we are doing right now with in conjunction with Webb Street School. It's our school for special needs students who and so we are actually, my students, my proficient and advanced students are creating clothing designs, and then the students are going to pick from 2 designs that they have come up with, and then we're going to actually make the clothing, and we're going to culminate in a fashion show at the end of May. It should be May 18th. I think they said 5 p.m. I'm not sure of the location. I think they were still kind of up in the air trying to find a location, but they are planning to have a catwalk, and the students are going to display the work there.
In this next section, Miss Howard will talk on what exposure can bring to the students and how art helps them form a suitable career path.
I think it's, we don't get a lot of moments, and so a lot of musicians and singers can just whip out their talent and they carry it around in themselves, but artists, we secretly carry it around in ourselves. We don't have artists written across our forehead, so it's just definitely something that you can show off your moment, and you can show off your things that you've been working so hard on for so long, because some of these displays and some of the pieces, they've worked all year on those things, and so having the opportunity to display them and everybody be like, wow, you actually did a really good job, and I know that it meant a lot for my students for y'all to come and give them the recognition that they deserve. A little bit about me, I was dyslexic, or I am dyslexic. And so when I share my story with my students of how I couldn't read until I was in 7th grade, and I had the IEP and the 504, and I still to this day am not a very good speller, and I own that. I say I got ART, and that's about it. But you don't have to necessarily be academically successful to be successful in the world. We're blessed to grow up in a world where it's not necessarily while it's very important, you can find your place in things that and try to fix things that you're struggling on and stuff like that. But showing that maybe if you are hyperactive, that you need a job where you're constantly moving, because you're not designed to sit down in an office. And me, I'm not designed to write papers and stuff like that. I'm designed to create, and encouraging that, and encouraging the, maybe this isn't, like if they're struggling with something, yes, keep trying, but there's other things in the world to do as far as careers and pathways besides just academically, and while it is important, very, very important to get those fundamentals down, it's also really important to have that creative aspect to your personality, and be a free thinker and think through problems.
Now we'll go back to the artists themselves on how long they've been interested in art and how having a dedicated teacher has helped them along the way.
Well, I haven't been really interested in art until this year, because I didn't think I was good at art until I got entered in it and saw that I won first place, because maybe it can show you that you're better than you think you are.
I really liked how hands-on she was with teaching us and helping us instead of sitting back and letting us watch a video of someone else doing it.
I wasn't really interested in art last year, but this year I am, because we do projects. Because last year it wasn't really projects. It was just a mandala and then drawing lips, a nose, and eyes, really. But this year it was really nice to have an art teacher that would let you do stuff instead of just sitting in a chair just drawing. I think it's good because it gives you a self-confidence that you are good at something and not just one thing or another.
Last up, we've got some closing thoughts from both teachers on what their programs are doing and how the community can and has shown its support. Let's hear from them now.
Yes, I love my new school. Like I said, this is my first year here at John Chavis. I am kind of a local because I'm from Cleveland County next door. But I love teaching in this community. I love this small community, and I love the fact that community members are willing to support our students here. This is the most supportive community that I've ever worked in, and it does pay off. Teachers can see that. I can see the growth in the students because community members who have never met our students are willing to put forth whether financial support, their time, their energy in their teachers and their students, because it gives back to the community. So I'm very grateful to be working here, and I would just tell my students in middle school to not give up and keep going, and hopefully go into high school art. We've got a great high school art program at Cherryville High, and to keep going with that. And that I've just loved teaching art. It keeps me going. I think the easiest one that pops up in my head the most would be our ceramics. I'm trying to grow the ceramic program as much as I can with the supplies that I have here. So the unit that we did was making tic-tac-toe boards. I find that middle schoolers love functional art. So the 8th grade and 7th grade did tic-tac-toe boards. So they were in charge of making 12 pieces, 6 of one and 6 of another, and then their board. And then they glazed them, and I submitted, I think, 4 tic-tac-toe boards, and that's why I like doing the ocarina whistles with 6th grade, because it's functional. Just like for 8th grade, we're doing the clocks this year, and they tend to like things that have a purpose, and it motivates them more, and then they tend to keep it a lot longer.
One thing that really helps is if they're not familiar with the Cherryville High School Education Foundation, they are a big funding source for us. They help pay for a lot of our materials in the school. Just because at the county level, we don't get a lot of funding. I know some of the other areas do get a little bit more than us, and just because of the way things work, we don't tend to get near as much funding as they do. So the Education Foundation is really been great to be able to provide us with, I have a photography class now, and they help provide cameras and things like that we just wouldn't be able to purchase otherwise. So one way they could really support us is to be a part of that Education Foundation when they do fundraisers. There's actually one coming up soon. It's called the Kentucky Derby, and they're doing a party at the Baker Buffalo Creek Winery, I think is the name of it. And they're raising money for a science lab for that. But then any of their funds, like it can help like us and other teachers too. So.
Well, everyone, that's all for today. I hope you've been enjoying, and if you have, help us out by clicking that like button down below the video. You can find us on all major social media networks and our website, wisenewsnetwork.com. Talking about social media and our website, if you're tired of scrolling through posts and want our news as soon as it comes out, be sure to subscribe on our website. This will email you every time an article goes up. Until next time, everyone, have a wonderful day, and this has been Mason Beam with the Wise News Network.